It is M123 FM in the Newberry News, our summer park series continuing back at the Tahquamenon Falls State Park this week. We're with Kevin Dennis talking about one of the great activities that you can enjoy all season long up here at the park. Kevin, talking about the hiking trails and plenty of options for those that like to go out on a little adventure.
Yeah, there is, Dan. There's everything from short, easy hikes to longer ones that are a little bit more difficult. Something for everyone here, for sure.
Miles and miles and different kind of experience levels as far as terrains and challenges along the walk go. Let's talk about the trail system in general right now. Early on here in the summer, what kind of feedback are you getting on the conditions out there on the trails?
Well, in a word, I would say wet.
Okay.
Or muddy.
You can
either
prepare
word.
for that, though.
You can. We had about 6 inches of rain in June, which is about double normal, so the conditions are a little bit wet and muddy in places, not everywhere. The Giant Pines Loop at the Upper Falls, which is a 4-mile loop, is quite wet. The River Trail, which is the almost 5-mile linear trail between the Lower and Upper Falls, that one is wet in places, although not everywhere. But still lots of good feedback. People enjoy hiking in those conditions as well.
Yeah.
So
you mentioned the River Trail, and that's really kind of what you call the bread and butter of the trail system. I know when we visited with Ken Galat on the last episode, he said that's one of his favorite places to get out in the park. What makes that kind of the premier attraction for the hikers in the area?
I think it's one because it follows the river most of the way, or really the whole way, but you can see the river for a lot of the hike. And then it connects the Lower and Upper Falls, so it kind of makes for a destination hike for folks. And with the availability of the shuttle service, a Jordan shuttle service to bring you back to your vehicle when you're done, or you can spot your vehicle and do it the other way for a fee, that makes it an attractive hike for people.
And you can kind of venture a little bit outside of the falls area and get some great hikes in, whether you head to the river mouth up over by Whitefish Bay and trek your way all the way back, or jumping on the North Country Trail, which runs through a good stretch of the park area. There's a wide variety and a vast area with dozens and dozens of miles for people to get out on.
Lots of miles, 30-something, close to 40 altogether. As you say, there's a 12-mile linear trail between the river mouth and Lower Falls. That's also part of the North Country Trail system. We've got 2 interior loops in our natural area. The Clark Lake Loop is a 5-mile loop. The Wilderness Loop is a 7-mile loop. Those are going to be a little bit wet as well. They kind of tend to be a little bit in that wet area, boggy area in places. But yeah, lots of options, lots of choices, different trailheads to start at. Of course, we've got good maps here at the park to kind of get you started and oriented and on your way.
And you never really know what you're going to see, but it's great. You mentioned the river trail going along the water. Great chance. I know a lot of people, like bird watchers, like to get out on the hiking trails, or people who maybe are into plants and vegetation. And you always see, last time I was up here walking along one of the trails doing some video, a young man found a snake on the side of the road, on the side of the trail, wanted to show everybody. So just from people who have different interests and activities, really they can all kind of unite on the trail and sharing their experiences.
Absolutely. You know, you hit on it. There's a lot of wildflowers in bloom right now. Otters are frequently seen in the river. Deer, the occasional bear. You know, there's a lot of wildlife out there, and yeah, a lot of good things to see. There's also some poison ivy, so beware of that. Here and there, it's not right on the trail, but close to it in places. So that is one thing to watch out for.
Don't go off-road.
Correct. Stay on the trail.
Yeah, stay on the trail and you'll be good. Let's talk about some of the advice and the precautions you mentioned. Keeping an eye out for poison ivy. That's a big one. Obviously, anytime you're headed out in the woods on a walk, you should probably let people know where you're starting, where you're headed. So in worst case scenario, if you get caught out too late, people know where to find you.
Correct. You'll have the rangers coming to find you, which we will do, but we'd prefer not to if we don't have to.
You guys like to hike leisurely.
Yes, not in a hurry and not at night if we can help it. So yeah, absolutely. Sort of all the general things: proper footwear, good hiking boots, plenty of water, bug spray. Are all essential things to bring with you. Tell somebody where you're going, when you expect to be back, and don't start some of the longer hikes. Like the river trail hike is going to take one way at least 2.5 hours. It takes longer than most people think. So starting those longer hikes after supper, in the early evening, probably not a good idea. Better to start them in the morning, ideally, or in midday time and stuff. So.
And I know a lot of the trails have places where if you need to sit down, take a break, kind of relax for a minute, a great chance to kind of sit and enjoy the trail in between your hikes.
Yep, there is, Dan. There's benches along a lot of our trails in places to stop, take a breather. They're usually located in scenic locations. So make a day of it. And one other thing to note, cell service is very limited.
Yep.
So don't count on good cell service on any of our trails. AT&T does have decent service here and there. Verizon is not so good. So
what is some of the work that maybe goes into getting these trails ready for people to come out? Or has there been any big projects this year? I know in the past you've had work crews in different areas on trails, getting those fixed up and maybe improved. Well, what's going on this season as far as trail maintenance?
Yep, so we had our usual maintenance to start the season. There's trees that fall over the trails every winter. We'll have washouts here and there we'll have to address and fix. Sometimes bridges and boardwalks, in particular ones on the river trail close to the river, will wash out or move. So all of that is kind of routine stuff that we take care of on our whole trail system in the spring prior to Memorial Day. And then above and beyond that, this year we are working on a project to make portions of the North Country Trail in the park accessible for everybody. So we're making them wider, 5 feet wide, 6 feet wide in places, and laying crushed limestone down on those trail surfaces so they're accessible for wheelchairs and people with mobility needs and stuff. So that's the focus this year. And a lot of that work is taking place on the Giant Pines Loop between the Upper Falls brink and then heading in towards the Giant Pines to the north from there.
All right. Of course, if you're planning your trip, follow the Tahquamenon Falls State Park Facebook page and website, and we'll keep you up to date as well all season long. Another edition of Tahquamenon Tuesday with Kevin Dennis here at the Tahquamenon Falls State Park.